question everything in pursuit of your purpose. Ask yourself, what if?
Well, good morning, and thank you guys for joining us again for another live episode of the Pursuit of Purpose podcast. What are we doing? Series of live shows. I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
And today our topic is
I'm going to say this correctly. What do you expect?
what do you expect?
That's right. And, keep in mind, if what you look for, that's what you'll get.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So whatever you're expecting is likely what you're going to get. So what do you expect?
It's a fascinating thing. It's based off of a universal law. No matter what your faith practice is, no matter who you pray to or believe in or whatever, this is a universal law. It fits in any faith system.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And there's a different version of it talked about in each of the different faith practices.
Okay.
And what it equates to is, like biblically, what you seek, you find.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And this proves itself true without fail. And
Yes.
For those of you out there joining us live, thank you. Always like to say I really appreciate you guys.
Yep.
All of you who tune in to us weekly on our live show, whether you be on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, Kick, Twitch, wherever you find yourself. Thanks for joining us today. We are in just to remind you guys, we now offer, if you want to, you can join us on our live shows. You can actually come sit. We have a space for the audience, and you're welcome to come join us anytime you want to. We're at 380 Fannin in downtown Beaumont, Texas. So if you guys happen to be in the Beaumont or Southeast Texas area ever on a Tuesday and you want to join us at a 10 o'clock live show, we'll bring you on. You can watch the show, or you might even be, if you want to join us on the air, we'll put you on here.
Maybe so.
So anyway, thank you. And like Chuck said, the topic for today is, what do you expect? And it doesn't mean that if you expect $1 million, that it's just going to magically appear.
Right.
But what it means is if you have an expectation of failure, if you are constantly saying,
Yes.
well, I guess it could be worse.
Right.
It's going to get worse.
Right.
Without fail, it's going to get worse.
Right.
I had this phrase I used to use a lot, and I still find myself saying it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will ask me, how are you doing today? And I'll say this phrase, I'll say, better than I deserve. Well, I am challenging myself to quit saying that. Even though I believe it to be true, I am blessed, highly favored, and I get far more good breaks than I deserve.
Right.
It still is a negative way to present that. I will say this. If you ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm very fortunate to be alive. I'm very fortunate and blessed to have the wife, the life, the family, the kids, the friends, the relationships, the business that I have.
Right.
Very blessed.
Right.
But no longer will I practice saying better than I deserve.
Yeah.
Because that throws in that negative aspect of I really don't deserve anything I'm getting.
Right.
Which may be true, but I can't give thanks and be grateful with that negative connotation.
It comes from a place of, I've heard that phrase for years and even used it myself. And it seems to come from a place of, I just work hard. I get what I get, but I don't really, if I get extra, I didn't earn that. So it has a negativeness to it. And I agree with you on that. However, when people have started asking me, maybe I started this not too many years ago, is to give them what I think will help them, which is to let them know what I truly believe. And I'll tell them, you know what? I'm blessed. I'm blessed beyond measure. I'm blessed. And I am blessed. And I presume most of you that are tuning in today to the show, you're blessed also. And I believe when you give people that response, you're enhancing the gift. You're not cheapening the gift at all.
Yes, that's exactly right. So one of the things that I'm going to practice, that I'm challenging myself to do and say, and I've been doing this every day anyway, I have an early morning practice of gratitude.
Okay.
And it's not weird. I'm not sitting with my legs crossed and, none of that stuff. No, but what I do is on my drive.
I love that visual.
Don't you know, you weirdo?
Stop
looking at me in your head. But anyway, what I do on my drive, as soon as I get in the car, in my vehicle headed to the office, I begin a list of gratitude.
Good.
And I say, dear Lord, I thank you.
Yeah.
And I am grateful for, and I start to list that.
Mhm.
I thank God for his grace, for
Right.
his mercy. I thank him for my life. I thank him for my wife. I thank him for each one of my children.
Mhm.
I thank him for my relationships. And I work through that process. And then I ask for blessings for those that I know,
Mhm.
that they grow, that they become, that they feel blessed.
Right.
And that if possible, if the opportunity presents itself, I ask and I give thanks
Mhm.
that I be a vessel
Mhm.
for those blessings on other people.
Yes.
And I've been practicing that every day for about 3 years,
Okay.
solid.
Yeah.
And I have never felt more abundance in my life than I do now.
Right.
And and I can truly say it is amazing.
Yes.
I've never felt more fullness in life, more
Right.
prosperity, and I've made more money than I
Mhm.
make. Don't get me wrong. I'm not rolling in the dough,
Yeah.
but there's very little true fulfillment in just money.
Right. It's totally spiritual, all the way. Yeah, but it definitely evidential. So and we hear these things, Rob. We read these things. We talk to friends and colleagues that inspire us, and we hopefully we do similar to them. And we pick up these nuggets, and we're like, that's a best practice. I'm going to start doing that. Next thing you know, we're having this effect. And like you say, I get up every morning. I slow roll my mornings. You can do whatever you do. I like to take about 30 minutes, even if I have to push the clock back a little bit because I got to be somewhere. Hey, it's just 30 more minutes. I'll make that up somewhere else. And that's the time I do similar things, similar prayers, similar, try to make it as very cognitious as I can. Think it through so that way it is now with me for the rest of the day. And then it also just becomes kind of a second nature, like it's always there. That experience of gratitude. And so, if that's what I expect, if I expect to, the grace and the mercy that's going to come my way, well, I create that because that's what I try to give other people.
So yes,
There's my expectations.
So something else that I've done and I've learned kind of the hard way, but through experience rather, that's the hard way. But something else that I've done is I have actually put myself on an intake or a diet of almost no news.
Yes.
And what's fascinating about that, and we get a lot of political commentary in our chat. Sometimes we talk about politics. Sometimes we talk about current affairs and world things and what have you. But what I found was if I consume the news, whether it be on social media, whether it be on just regular old interweb, or if I watch Fox or if I watch Newsmax or CNN or ABC, NBC, whatever it is, if you watch any of those channels,
Right.
you start to look for whatever the messaging is
Yes.
that they're talking about.
Yes.
You start to build this expectation.
Mhm.
So like if you align yourself as a person who is in favor of the current political leadership,
Okay.
and you watch news that favors that, then you start looking for those things to support that cause.
Yeah.
But if you're against it, you do the other thing.
Right.
You start looking for all the
Right.
things to support your viewpoint.
And by the same token, we look for the opposition too. I'm waiting. How many times have you been talking to someone about a topic that's passionate to you? Maybe it has a political nature, and you did not realize the person you were talking to was just waiting to pounce. And they were looking for that. They were looking for the opposition because they wanted to compete. And I'm sorry, I don't compete against other people.
Right.
My competitor's sitting right here. And at least the majority of my competition. There's other competitions, like when it's hot and I don't want to go outside. That's a competition. But I'm going to lose if I fight the sun. So I have to fight my own will. But trust me, friends, that when you're around folks and you realize that you're around a competitive person that wants to basically defeat you to feel better about themselves, they've been looking for that for a long time. And sometimes we walk into that, but I don't have to stay.
So I find it fascinating. I have a particular belief system. I have a particular set of convictions internally for myself. And I classify or categorize myself in particular ways. My alignment is more with, I am a Christian first, but I'm also a constitutional conservative, which means that I support rather the origination of the Republic of the United States of America.
Yes.
And I typically align with things that are bent that way.
Mhm.
But a fascinating part of that is I have actually found myself, since I have taken this fast from news and all this stuff,
Mhm.
I found myself more accepting of people who don't align with what I align with.
Okay.
More accepting of the people, not with their views.
Yes.
I don't have to agree with their views
Right.
to love them as a person.
That's right.
And I don't have to fight with them.
Right.
And let's see, Shaky Sparky says the founding fathers weren't even Christians, deists and Quakers. Well, Shaky Sparky, it's okay for you to think that, no matter how mistaken you may be.
Hmm.
The founding fathers were not politicians. And that's a major difference from what we have working around up at the, in Washington right now. And let's see, Bear says, what is the point of arguing about all of this? The Constitution was written by the well-off to make sure they stayed in control. Bill Beard says politicians are corrupt on both sides. I don't disagree with that.
Mhm.
And I also, Bill, thank you for your comment. Thank you all for your comments. I will say this. That's one of the reasons that I stopped consuming so much news from external sources, from one source or another, particularly, is because I do believe that there is corruption and manipulation on both sides. And I also believe that we are manipulating ourselves in the process.
Yes.
We become sheep and follow what we look for, what we expect.
Right.
We start to say, oh, well, I've got emotional feelings about this, so let me let that out
Right.
and let me put it on you if you don't agree.
Right.
Well, that's not,
To do what with?
That-
to fix it for you?
yeah, that doesn't grow.
So that therefore I'm now getting employed by your petition to fix your feelings. That's not how it works.
Zachy says they all have their hand in the cookie jar. Some of them just have more fingerprints. Coffee Anytime says it's not left versus right. It's the haves versus the have-nots.
Mm.
Truthfully, I don't agree with that either. I think it's us against ourselves.
Yes.
I really do. If enough of us quit consuming the rhetoric, if enough of us quit consuming the stirred up artificial passions, we, the people,
Mhm.
could take back our pure form
Yes.
of this grand experiment
Yeah.
that we call America.
That's right.
And on its 250th year, what better thing to set out for a cause
Right.
than to return to the origin of what our purpose was in the beginning.
Right.
Our purpose was not to tell each other how to be or how to believe.
Mhm.
Our purpose was to develop the freedom to believe as we see fit
Yes.
for ourselves
Yes.
and not to infringe on the rights
Mhm.
of each other.
And practice that freedom
Yes.
as we see fit, without infringing on others, for sure. And so here we are. I presume everybody that's tuning into the show today, you live here in America. I don't believe we have any international participants. So if you're living here in America, what do you expect from this country? What and do you believe the country owes you something, or do you believe you owe it? I mean, these are just philosophies. What are you practicing from what position?
Bill Beard says we can't do anything. They own the game. I don't agree with that.
Right.
I don't agree with that at all. They don't own me.
No.
And the moment you disconnect from the game and stop playing it the way you're told to play it, they don't own you either.
Right.
And that's part of what we're talking about here in this little part of this show is that, what you look for, you get. What you expect, you'll find.
Mhm.
And if you expect to be controlled, guess what? You're already under control.
You are under control.
Yes.
Yes. And I find it fascinating when people come and they address us and with this idea that they have some level of authority and it's going to have some control over our conclusions. And when they realize that we're free thinking people, it is interesting to kind of watch that energy just melt. It's happened on several occasions because folks, they're in this world where they have built a custom that they can basically control and manipulate other people. But when a free thinking person stands up and says, I don't know that I see it that way. What do you mean? And, oh, it's the most fascinating experience. Try it sometime.
DOAK777 says, you both look like the perfect picture of dad vibes. Well, I'm going to take that as a big compliment. Thank you. We are both dads.
That's right. I worked hard to be a good one. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. That was a big compliment, at least the way I see it. So that's funny.
Mhm.
Shaky Sparky says, an idea like convincing other adults your imaginary space wizard is real. I don't know what that means.
I don't.
Coffee Anytime says, we literally fought the greatest military force over a tea tax, and now we pay taxes on everything. So true.
Right.
So true. Now you've got my complete support and agreement with that.
That's right.
I do believe that we, the people, need to stop allowing ourselves to be
Right.
taxed so much.
And what was one of the phrases that we've been taught was one of our motivators. It wasn't so much taxation; it was taxation without representation. So if I'm going to pay taxes, I get a vote. I get a voice. And when that got seemingly taken away, so no, you're still living under a monarchy. We're like, okay, enough of that. And then it took whatever energy was required to break free of that. And look at what we have today. I mean, think about it, friends.
Yes.
A 250-year-old experiment is now the greatest country in the history of the world in more ways than most. We are the greatest economy, the greatest influence, the greatest research, the greatest opportunity to become. Other countries do well, but none do as well as us. Now, I think things are happening right, but we have an obligation, I should say, to protect it. That's why we're asking today, what do you expect from this country? And what does it expect from you?
Hey, by the way, thank you for following us. We really appreciate that. DOAK77. I've seen a couple of you add us in. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing our live. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Coffee Anytime says, but do you feel like you have a voice when there are lobbyists who take your voice away? Well, here's the thing. The lobbyists can't stop this voice.
That's right.
Your voice on here in the chat, our voice to you on here in the chat, in this show. That's one of the beautiful things about this nation is that we have the freedom to do exactly what we're doing right now.
That's right.
And that doesn't exist everywhere in the world. If you get online and try to find a live show in some countries, they don't have them because their government doesn't allow them even to have free internet access.
That's right.
So that's one of the great things about what we have here,
Right.
is that we do have the freedom to speak out.
And you are right. There have been numerous situations throughout the history of information exchange where our government that we put in power tries to control our ability to communicate with each other. So what happens as a result of that? Innovations. That's what we're using right now. New innovations. And when they try to shut this one down, we'll come up with another one. Eventually, we're going to keep doing that. We're going to communicate. Even in the darkest hours of our world wars, the resistance movements found a way to communicate, whether it was through code and through things like that. So we'll find a way. It's okay.
And Coffee Anytime says we are very blessed in our freedom. And that is absolutely true.
Yes.
That is a very good comment. Thank you for that. And I couldn't be, that's one of the things that I am most grateful for is the fact that I was born here. I had the very great fortune of being born an American citizen.
Likewise.
And raised here with the appreciation for our freedom.
That's right. And I appreciate so many that came before me, call them family and others that took great risk. And with no idea that I would be in their future, but they knew they would have people that they would influence.
Yes.
And that is the biggest motivator. You can go back and study some of the most dramatic times in human history. Like I just heard a story today about the sailors on the USS, I think it was the Enterprise, that actually did deliver the bomb, but they were torpedoed and they were floating in the ocean for weeks and weeks. And what kept them alive was because through their conversations in the dark of the ocean was talking about the family that they have who want them to come home, or the family they're going to have. And actually, a lot of men reference that. I appreciate my fellow sailors. So thinking of others, that's another great opportunity we have in this great country.
So Green Outside with a watermelon emoji says, came before you like Native Americans. Well, I am a Native American.
Yeah, I think I have some also.
Well, no, I'm a Native American no matter what.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I have American Indian blood in me, of course, but I'm a Native American, and I mean, you can like it You can love it or leave it. Either way,
Right.
I'm a Native American, and I mean, many of you in the chat probably are too. Michelle, hello. Thank you for the comment.
Yes.
Big Ben, congratulations. Big Ben says he just farted. So congratulations to you. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, if he wants to talk about his flatulence, bless him.
I hope it was everything you expected.
Yeah, I hope everything came out okay.
That's right.
So, good job, Big Ben. I mean, you know, I guess if we want to announce all our bodily functions,
get a platform.
Yeah.
Dude. Make
you know,
sure-
Big Ben needs his own live show to talk about his
That's right.
bodily functions.
Yeah.
Good job, Big Ben.
That's right. It's the Big Ben show.
Wickety split. What's going on, Kevin Bailey? It's good to
Hey,
see you.
man.
Thanks for finding us and joining us today. Andre says, how can we trust what our leaders tell us? The news media tells us so many conflicting narratives. That's exactly right. That's why I unplugged somewhat from
Right.
what any media source tells me.
Right.
And it's some of the most peaceful times in my life.
Yeah.
I've done this from time to time throughout my life. And let's see. Michelle says, how are you gents doing today? We're doing great. How are you, Michelle?
Well,
Thanks for joining our show. We appreciate you. Green Outside said, exactly what are you saying? I'm saying I am a Native American. And I'd love to hear your argument against that.
Right.
Because
Right.
that's what I am. I can't help what happened before I was born.
Right.
I can't help what, how the nation was formed, and I'm not apologetic about it.
No.
It's what afforded us the freedoms and abilities to have all the things and do all the things that we can do.
Right.
So if you don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
bless your heart. I don't know what else to say. You don't have to live here. You have the freedom to leave.
That's right.
You also have the freedom to make changes or propose changes. You have the freedom to rally others around you who are like-minded. And that's part of the blessings
Mhm.
of living in this great nation.
There we go.
So what I'm saying is I'm a Native American. Many of you in the chat probably are too.
Yeah.
So welcome to being a Native
That's
American.
right. That's right.
Let's see. Caitlin says, I like the union. Coffee Anytime says, I feel like the money buys the narratives and it's creating blind ignorance. It creates blind ignorance
Sure.
if you buy into it hook, line, and sinker, and you don't learn how to have critical thinking and independent thinking for yourself.
That's right.
If you don't have balance in life, which is what we lack, if we just pay attention to public narratives,
Right.
to media narratives, we don't have balance, then we don't operate with critical thinking.
That's right.
Then we become sheep.
That we become sheep. So our encouragement to you is promote the difference that makes you better, because you're not incorrect. That is exactly what a lot of their money is buying. And but the problem with those folks purchasing the opportunity to put out that propaganda, they need a customer, and we choose not to be customers.
Yes. Mark says, what tribe? I'm not sure what you mean. Are you asking what my genetic heritage, or are you asking about the tribe that I belong to now? I belong to the Americana tribe right now,
Yes.
but I have genetic relations to Chickasaw and Cherokee.
Yes.
So if that answers your question. Green Outside says, so then the road to happiness is to seek freedom and don't mind how we get there. Now, I didn't say the road to happiness, but you can operate in the freedom that you have and find happiness.
Mhm.
Because we do have freedom. We have more than any other place on earth.
Right.
And you can operate with even greater freedom inside yourself if you learn how to expect the best.
Right.
So let's say user with a bunch of numbers says, are you guys gay? You both look gay. No hate if you are, both homosexuals. You go. No, actually, I'm happily married
Yeah.
to a female.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we're in a couple of weeks, we celebrate our 20th anniversary.
Yes.
So very proud of that.
Yes.
Very happy with my wife.
Yes.
And Green Outside says, what is freedom exactly? Well, what do you think it is? Freedom Green Outside. Freedom is different for each person. Like what you see freedom as
Mm-hmm.
is different than what I see it as.
Mhm.
If I see freedom. Oh, go ahead.
If I say, if I may, freedom, everything has to have an
I'm gonna grab
origin.
some coffee.
Certainly. Everything has to have an origin. So if we're seeking freedom, it has to start right here. And it starts in my own thinking. And like a lot of our friends today who are posting, I too was a bit sheeple at times. I had to have a wake up. And basically I had to be disappointed enough. And then, but instead of blaming my disappointer, I started asking an effective question, probably learned it from listening to healthy people, to say, Chuck, how did you get yourself here? How did you get yourself to follow somebody like that? I'm like, that's a good question. That's the real question, not why are they doing what they're doing? Because a lot of you are talking about how their money and the corruptness. Guess what? They're never not going to be that. They're always going to be that. Our challenge is how are we going to respond to it and then live with its existence? I know we wish we could make it go away, but that's not human nature. That's not how it works. If you're a student of history, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the freedom started inside of here.
And if you look at our history, like some of you may be people who like to look at our history and see the worst aspects of it.
Right.
And that goes along with the topic of this show is, you see what you seek.
You see, that's right.
So if you want to look at the history of America and how it was formed and see the worst parts of it, it's not hard to do. You can find it.
Mm-hmm.
There are negative aspects to all of it, but there are also negative aspects to how you were formed.
Mm-hmm.
There are parts of you and your story that you don't really want brought to light. Those are negative aspects to what formed you as a person and who you've become.
Right.
But the truth is you're becoming the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, just like America is trying to do. We are a part of this organization, country called America, the greatest experiment on earth. So yes, there are aspects of it that aren't the greatest in its origin. But the truth is that the freedom and the spirit behind the purpose of America is something to be enormously proud of and proud to be a part of.
And practiced.
Yeah.
Please be a participant in all the facets. I mean, develop yourself, help others develop themselves, vote, get informed, and to further use the passage that Rob referenced this morning, you will receive what you're asking for. So if I'm asking something that's more negative or more selfish intent, well, that's what I'm going to get back. Will it be satisfying? Likely not, but I have to learn that the hard way sometimes too. So one of the pleasures we get to do is we get to teach things like the art of the question, asking people things in effective ways to get the most maximum and effective answers. So make sure your questions are good.
So let's see. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back here. Fuzzy Mac 505 says, meanwhile, those parts of church history are still happening. Then Greg, let's see, Greg CW1NRA asked what's banging. We've got some construction going on in the office next door. It's actually in Chuck's office, and the guys over there don't know that we're running a live show.
Yes.
And I've sent them a message to stop, but they're not looking at their phones, so they're just banging away in there. They're renovating Chuck's office.
But thank you for having.
Yeah.
We're impressed that our microphones are that good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we're always in constant improvement around here, friends. So,
hey, Kevin Bailey, we would love that. Come on down. We will fire up the grill and put some Hall & Oates on. he said he'd love to have a barbecue with us and listen to Hall & Oates.
Oh, come on, man.
And we'll step it up a notch from there.
Yeah.
We'll pull out the cigars and the whiskey. We'll sit, sip, and talk about life. We will have a great time.
Yeah.
So Cole says, out there is wild. People are crazy nowadays. Well, they seem that way. The truth is, they don't even realize what they are, what they want. They follow so much. That's kind of what we're challenging today is the concept of thinking for ourselves, learning to expect what we want rather than what we're told to expect. Stop following.
Yes.
And start using our own critical thinking processes to create the world we want to live in.
Right.
Instead of just responding or reacting to what everyone else tells us our world is like. Because it's really not that way.
Right.
And there was somebody else said something up here. Let's say. Yeah. Where did it go?
I don't know, but my mind's still stuck on Hall & Oates.
Right?
You're a rich girl, and it's gone too far.
Oh, gosh, he's singing, y'all.
Hey, that's one of the few talents.
Hey, Michelle, that was a great comment. I'm sorry I missed it. Michelle said, emotional intelligence is a superpower. Absolutely it is. And let's see. Green Outside asked this question, and I'll address that. What is freedom exactly? That's a great question. And the answer is fascinating because the true definition or sign of freedom is your ability to think.
Yes.
If you were to talk about, like, look at the life of Nelson Mandela.
Mm.
Nelson Mandela is a very inspirational guy. His life was fraught with turmoil,
Mm-hmm.
with enormous obstacles, but he turned those obstacles into what?
Oh, opportunity.
Into opportunity. In prison, wrongly imprisoned for,
Mhm.
I mean, he didn't do anything wrong,
Right.
but what did he do?
Mm.
In that time, he created.
Yes.
Where did he create? In his mind.
Mhm.
He operated with the freedom of thought,
Right.
and he did things that changed his world
Mhm.
as a result.
Mhm.
And that's what we all have the power to do.
Right. I'm not trying to deify Nelson Mandela, but there's a biblical component. Did you know that most of the letters in the New Testament were written from prison? Because
Yes.
what were these folks doing? They were talking about the freedom to live for Christ, the freedom to live in a whole new way. And everywhere they deposited that gospel, they got met with resistance. And who were the biggest resistors? Those who were going to have the most to lose
Yeah.
if people started thinking the way that these men and women were teaching. So, and here's Nelson Mandela, who basically, was able to rise out of that incarceration.
So Chico Torres says, hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last, but successful people do. And he rhymed with it. That was a good one. Thank you, Chico. And that is true. And
Yes.
one of the hardest forms of work that people hate the most, some people would rather die than do this form of work. And that is to think.
Mm.
To think on purpose, to think with purpose,
Yes.
to think for yourself.
Right.
The problem comes when we start to think for ourselves. We start to realize that we are actually responsible and accountable for our actions and our behaviors
Yes.
and the life that we've created. And then we start to realize I can't keep blaming everybody else. I can't point my fingers outward and say that it's all their fault.
Right.
I have to start realizing that if it is to be, it's up to me.
Yes.
And I have to start realizing I'm in this mess I'm in because I did it.
Because of me.
Because I stepped in it with both feet.
Right. How did I get myself here? That's
Yes.
exactly right. Yeah, that's interesting. In our counseling and coaching practices, a lot of times we'll put questions out there and then we'll be met with terrible silence. Folks are basically looking for us to answer their own question. Every now and then we might give a nugget or two, but by and large, we just stand there and let silence be its own tool until finally somebody breaks the silence. Well, I guess it's this. And that's where the beginning starts. That's where they begin to transform and become thinkers.
So I find this fascinating. We've got a guy in the chat, Mike Miser. I'm going to make an assumption that that's a guy, whatever you would like to be referred to as. But he says, white Christians trying to teach us about God. And then he says a couple of Jesus clowns, and he's got a bunch of emojis and things like that. What's fascinating about that is I didn't teach anybody about God today. I talked about my own beliefs a few times, but I actually said from the very beginning that no matter what belief system you have, no matter if you don't even have an organized belief system, the things we're talking about today are based on universal laws.
Yes.
Universal laws that they're irrefutable,
Right.
indisputable. You can't even,
Right.
you can't break them if you want to.
That's right.
They
That's
just
right.
are.
And you can find those in a lot of different versions, Christian being one of them, even a lot of the other religious disciplines or just philosophical differences, universal laws. You'll find them in every one of them, and they cannot be broken. They cannot be deterred because they're facts. That's just the way we are created to operate in those ways.
And Mike Miser, I'm going to hit you on one other thing in your comment. It was very presumptive of you to say to white Christians.
Yeah.
First of all, my skin's not white.
Mm.
It's a lighter complexion than some, but I do not qualify as white genetically. I'm a mutt. I'm about as mutt as a mutt can be. So bless your heart.
Yes.
And I hope you learn to stop being so judgmental about others, about the way they look, about the way they talk. And I hope you learn to accept yourself.
Yes.
Because the truth is, when you start to be judgmental of other people, it's because you have insecurities in yourself.
That's exactly right.
So I hope you have a blessed life, Mike.
I do too.
Let's see. We're old says you're white, son. Well, that's okay. You can judge me that way. That's totally fine. Demaya says the guy in blue is. They're picking on you, Chuck.
Oh, do it. What?
Yeah, they're talking about your.
Oh yeah, man. I got it. Yeah.
Well, that's the dad bod. We got a compliment for that earlier.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I hope I'm inspired you to eat something today.
Bo Martin, if you could ask Jesus any question, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
Man, you know what I would ask him? That's a great question, Bo. And thank you for joining the show. For those of you in the chat, that is one of my proudest people to join the chat today, because that is my oldest son.
Yes.
I love you, son, and I'm proud of you.
Yep.
But if I could ask Jesus one question,
Mm,
it would be, how can I serve you better?
there it is.
I'd want to know that.
That's right.
Because I always believe I can do better and do more.
Yeah.
And how can I represent you better in this life? That's what I would ask him. So, Bo, back to you. What would you ask? If you could ask Jesus directly one question, what would it be? Still Smiling says, I would ask why he didn't make everything perfect from the beginning, avoiding all this pain. He did, actually.
Mm.
In the beginning, all things were created perfect. We screwed that up.
Yes.
Let's see. Silky Stroke Survivor says 6 years post-stroke for me. I had a stroke, 160 foot up in a tower crane. Wow.
Whoa.
So you are very blessed. I'm glad you're
Yes.
still here, and you obviously have a big purpose in your life.
Yes.
Can't wait to see what you create from it.
Right.
So we're all go out and build a church or home or something. Say when, say where. Silky Stroke Survivor says, thank you. We're old. Jesus wants you to abolish money, but it looks like you both covet with greed. Boy, you're judgmental. Let's see. Ask Jesus why people were tortured and executed in his name. That's a good question.
Okay.
We're old today anywhere. Mike Miser says, ask Jesus why people were tortured. Okay, that's the same question. Look at your junior. I don't know what that. Yeah, he is a junior. Demaya says, yeah, you guys, all you do is ask money at the ministry. I don't know what you're talking about, Demaya. We've never asked for money on the show for
No.
anything.
No. This is coming to you
Not at all. This
no
is
charge.
100%. We don't even, we're not trying to sell anything.
No.
We're not asking for money for anything.
No.
The hope here is that we help people learn to use their own critical thinking.
Yes.
That's the only purpose of this
Right.
show.
Right. And create good expectations, and
Yes.
to stay on theme a little bit, it's those poor expectations that I think are the origins of what a lot of these unflattering things that are coming our way.
Hey, Tammy from Tennessee. Thanks for joining the show. We appreciate you. We're Old says, what's with all the silver? Are you talking about my jewelry? Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
I appreciate your observance.
Yeah.
How much silver did Jesus wear? I have no idea. I don't think he had any jewels, but I don't know. Now, let's see. I started thinking, now I'm critical. Okay. Let's see. Well, Jesus didn't need any jewels to be king. He laid down his life, in fact, so that we could be blessed and have grace.
Right.
So.
And the reason he was not a earthly king, because his kingdom is not of this world.
Well, Demaya says, why all pastors do is ask for money. I'm not sure what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a pastor,
Mm-mm.
and I don't ask for money.
I know, it's a good question. It's a good question.
Mike Miser says, fake ass Christians. You know, Mike's a very judgmental and presumptive guy.
He seems to be.
Yeah, at least that's how it seems.
Yeah.
So carry on, sir. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll learn to accept other people as they are rather than as you think they ought to be.
Right.
I accept you, and I pray blessings for you. And I appreciate you even being a part of the chat today and part of the show.
Right.
We appreciate all of you, whether you've been positive or negative. Tammy says, what's wrong with people? You know, Tammy, we used to ask questions like that.
Right.
And I really want to ask the question, what's right with people?
Yes.
Because it's more fun to talk about.
Yes.
So, Tammy, thank you for your contribution.
Maybe that could be one of the expectations of the day.
Yeah.
Catch somebody doing something right.
Yes.
And then tell them.
Yes. And that's a fascinating thing. You know, I'm here where we are in this office.
Yes.
There's a big organization that owns these buildings where we are. And I do some work with that organization.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I do when I'm running around is look for the people that work for this organization doing stuff right. I don't go out there looking for them doing stuff wrong.
Right.
That's too easy.
Right.
I want to go out there and find what they're doing right. Because if I can find the things to praise them for, if I can find the things that they can be proud of,
Mhm.
then we can capitalize on that.
There you go.
You know, it's a funny thing how this works. We throw around, we cut each other. We sharpen our knives. We get really good at insulting each other, and we practice the art of condescension, the art of the insult, the art of the attack. So we get these really sharp blades. We run around cutting people all the time.
Right.
And then we turn around and look at them, and we expect them to heal with the same blade we just cut them with.
Ooh.
And it's impossible to do that.
Right.
So if we want to improve our situations, why are we still sharpening the edge?
Mm.
Why don't we start treating the wounds? Why don't we start looking for the best things that we can find in other people? That's what true people of growth, true people of positivity. If you want to talk about Christianity, that's what Jesus did.
Yeah.
He didn't go around sharpening the knife, looking for people to cut and
Right.
watching them bleed and say, "What's wrong with you?
Right.
Why are you bleeding? Stop bleeding on my rub."
Right.
No, he was a healer. He was known as the great physician.
Yeah.
He healed the body,
Mm-hmm.
the soul,
Mm-hmm.
and the mind.
Yeah.
He wasn't sharpening his knife to wound you and then insult you because you're hurt.
Right.
And that's what we like.
Right.
Even in this chat, I watch people, and who are you helping when you insult someone?
Mm.
Who are you helping when you attack someone or make fun of them or make presumptions or tell them what they should do or be judgmental about them? Who are you helping? How are you growing?
Mm.
I don't speak for Jesus, Mike. I speak for me.
Right.
I hope, my prayer is that I am a fair ambassador,
Right. Right.
but that's my hope.
Right.
I fail at it every day.
And that's a lifestyle. Jesus can speak for himself. That's why it's documented.
So you guys, thank you so much for joining our show today. It's been fun. We really appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you next Tuesday right here at 10 o'clock, same place, same time.
Yep.
I'm Rob.
I'm Chuck.
And today it has been a great time here at the Pursuit of Purpose. Thank you so much. We will talk soon.
There you go.
Question everything in pursuit of your